meeting on Tuesday, March 31st at 11:35 a.m. Could we do a roll call, please?
Mary Beckwith,
Here.
John Nunes,
Yeah.
Chris Oliver,
Here.
Kathleen Amaral, Bess Coughlin.
Just say we're here to discuss the agenda item of looking at the proposed revised school budget for FY27.
I would just remind everyone, Mary, that this meeting is being video recorded for live broadcast and future broadcast.
Okay. This meeting is being recorded for live broadcast as well as for future broadcast on DCTV. So shall we begin with a review of the proposed changes to the budget?
Yeah, I would just say, I know that Mr. Kiley had forwarded to you an updated document update that updates some of our proposed revisions to the budget. And so this is an opportunity for us to have discussion about that and answer any questions that you may have.
Are we able, for the viewing public, are we able to put that updated draft revision on Zoom?
When it gets to you.
Is someone able to share their screen?
Yep, we're working on that right now.
Yep.
Perfect. I'm always happy to start off if no one else has anything, Madam Vice Chair.
That's fine with us. Is it okay with you, Mr. Nunes?
Perfect. I've
Okay.
got some comments, but
Yeah, let's wait till it's up on the screen, please.
Sure.
Are you, Mr. Oliver, are you gonna refer to that document that Mr. Kiley sent us?
Yes, I'm gonna
Okay.
I'm gonna be
Okay.
thinking about it.
If you weren't, I'd say go ahead, but let's wait till we can
Yeah,
see
no
it.
worries.
Should be coming up momentarily. No, just the second one. Yep, that one.
Not seeing it yet.
It's about to pop up.
Okay,
There
see
we
it.
go.
Yep, it's coming. Thank you. Okay, go ahead, Mr. Oliver. Unless there's anything Mr. Kiley wants to say before we start making comments or asking questions,
Well, I mean, I'm sorry.
or
Go ahead.
anything Dr. Saber McGuire wants to say as well.
I mean, I guess what I'd offer is that from our perspective, we thought that the last school committee meeting was a very productive one. It was nice to have the select board attend, and we thought it was a good collaborative meeting in which the town administration, made a change to what they were initially allocating. We were pleased to see that. So we have prepared a draft revision for your consideration. We're not asking you for a vote today. The vote would be on April 13th. But what we're offering for your consideration is a revised proposal of total request of 5%. The detail on the screen shows you how we've gotten to that 5%. So we've reduced the amount of maintenance increase music increase and athletic increase to level funding. So anything above level funding, we have reduced. And we've also been able to incorporate and maintain some of the key positions that we recommended in the previous request. So the 4 ESPs at the elementary level, the 3 RBTs, the adjustment counselor at the middle school, the job coach in the Atlas program, and the elementary instrumental music. We've maintained in this budget request. We've made a couple of adjustments in terms of a reduction of a teaching staff position at the Quinn School. And that would be through attrition. There's a retirement in that area, so it wouldn't be a reduction in force. We've also, we were pleased to have the support of the DART, which is the organization in town that organizes and coordinates the spending of the opioid funds. So that has been able to help us with shifting some money that we would have spent out of school choice to opioids, and therefore money that we could spend in school choice from our budget. So the total of that is a 5% increase. So that's sort of where we are, and you see there, the variance in terms of what the town projection was offered at the 4.5% at the last school committee meeting on the 23rd.
Okay, thank you. Questions for Mr. Kiley and or Mr. Oliver? You can proceed with your comments and questions.
Yeah, no, I was very pleased when we were sent this from Mr. Kiley. I think it speaks to what I had mentioned around forward-facing positions and being cognizant of the town's bottom line. Clearly, they did some work here looking at enrollment numbers or enrollment projections for next year for kindergarten. And I see that there was some backup data that was shared with us as well around the FY27 projected kindergarten enrollment, which makes me feel better seeing this data and knowing that we're going to be looking at cutting or a kindergarten position at Quinn due to low enrollment. Obviously, I'm going to assume, I'm sure it's safe to assume that if enrollment were to change and if numbers were to uptick, that we would have to look at keeping this position or bringing this position back. Is that fair to say, Dr. Sabo-Maguire?
That is fair to say, yes. We will be monitoring our kindergarten enrollment very closely. We're confident that the numbers that you have in front of you now, we expect them to rise a bit, but not so dramatically that we believe that this position, at this point in time, that this position, losing this position won't cause the district great harm. But at the same time, we will be looking closely at those numbers as we get closer to the fall.
Perfect. I appreciate that. So yeah, no, I'm certainly, I think we are, from my point of view anyway, we're trying to work with the town as best as possible while, advancing our district strategic plan as best as we can within the confines or the constraints of the budget. There is a $278,000 difference between where we're, or 0.5% from where we're coming in to where the town, wants to be. So I'm hopeful that we can get closer to funding our budget request. Do you feel optimistic, Mr. Kiley?
I mean, certainly more optimistic than I was prior to our meeting on the 23rd. Obviously, there is a level of support and recognition for our needs amongst the community, the other boards. So we appreciate that very much. I have a meeting tomorrow morning with the town administrator. So hopefully, we'll know a little bit more at that point, but I'm going to update him based on what may happen today in this meeting.
Okay, perfect. Happy to hear that. And then I see my last point would just be that we're continuing to spend down school choice, the $245,000. I'll just say after certainly reading some of the local media, there's a lot of Monday morning quarterbacks out there that think they know best with the school budget and how we should be spending school choice. I will certainly say that spending school choice all at once in 1 year does not make any physical sense. We have fiduciary responsibility, and to spend all of our school choice funds in 1 year would put us in a very bad spot for the following year. So I'm confident with this budget plan. Certainly I would love to have seen everything else be funded, but I think going to the town, this shows that we're willing to work with the town. Thank you, Madam Vice Chair.
Mr. Nunes?
Yep.
Oh,
Thank Nope.
actually, Mr. Kiley, can you leave it up for
Sure.
a moment? Because I have a couple questions.
Just one thing. I
Go ahead, Mr. Nunes.
Sorry about that. No problem. Thank you, Madam Vice Chair. I appreciate the work that has gone into this. As I've kind of said before, I, for one, am still torn with putting $59.2 million as our budget type of deal, the 6.85%. I'm a little frustrated because I raised the question at when we were presented this budget at the beginning of February to say we need to make sure that Town Hall was aware of where we were going, and it was emphasized that they had been at the budget subcommittee meetings, so they knew where we were coming from. Okay, and why they didn't at that point in time, or maybe a week or so later, say, we got a problem. You can't do that, or we being the town cannot do that. Instead, they wait till 4:15 for our meeting in March to send us their proposal. But that being said, I'll get off my soapbox on that. We've got a discussion, and we had a little bit of a discussion with the kindergarten, the $300,000 in the kindergarten stabilization type of deal. And no, I don't want to, and we did have a discussion about using that for personnel, but again, we walk off that cliff next year because we don't have the $300,000 to fund that those positions. So my thought has been, and it may be all wet now after last night's selectmen's meeting, if it even happened, was to take some of that, to take that $300,000 and Mr. Kiley and I had a discussion on this morning. And Jim, I just came up with one other idea, but what part of use the $300,000 to make the adjustment in the 15 grand that was cut from the music, the 107 that was cut from athletics. And again, this is trying to fix some things here. For 15 grand, and then Mr. Kiley, we didn't talk about this, and I just thought about it now, and I apologize, but use 15 grand to fund that athletic coordination stipend, to give Mr. Christofoli some help. And then, probably, so that's $137,000, gives us $63,000 that maybe we can do something with some of the things that maintenance needs, type of deal. And again, we've got an overall problem in the town with a structural deficit, type of deal. And unfortunately, my thought is until we kind of, we can't spend school choice. Chris, I agree with you wholeheartedly. If we go through school choice all in 1 year, we're dead. We're just, closed, last one out, shut the lights off, as they say. But the 300,000 in kindergarten stabilization used for, per se, one-time items, to offset these things. I mean, if we don't have that monies next year, in the 28 budget, okay, but at least we had it to do some things in 27, Now, I know the selectmen were supposed to, I didn't watch the meeting last night, didn't go. I know the selectmen were supposed to vote on warrant articles and then close the warrant. So, would they even consider us reopening that so we could put an article for this 300 grand? I don't know, but that's my thought on this budget. I like what has been done. I mean, we're still kicking the can down the road with human resources. I know the town said, you can, they're willing to help out with their person, type of deal, but now you're bouncing between two buildings and, different personnel, and somebody may not be fully aware of what goes on the school side versus the town side. So I get a little concerned with that. These are positions that we need. So we have to think about those real seriously. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Mr. Nunes. I have just one question on the maintenance reduction. What would we be sacrificing by reducing that increase? I understand the music, I understand the athletic, but with maintenance, what are we losing by reducing that?
Right. So in expressing our needs in the fiscal year 27 budget, the original proposal, I included an increase to the maintenance budget of 365,000, really to address preventative and predictive maintenance efforts in the 7 buildings. So, we all know that these buildings are only getting older. They're having more and more concerns, and it's imperative for us to try and stay ahead of those concerns in terms of a predictive maintenance program and a preventative maintenance program. And to be honest, we are reactionary right now. We are not, we're preventative in terms of servicing the boilers, let's say, which we do regularly, or changing filters in air units, but we don't have a truly comprehensive preventative maintenance program. And so, given where we're headed, I guess I'm pleased to mention that the select board approved the statement of interest for the Dartmouth Middle School building last night.
Oh,
so
good.
that was fantastic. We're thrilled that that's a priority for the select board and hopefully for the community.
Great.
But that's a long-term solution to a short-term problem.
We also had a maintenance staff member.
Right. We had built in a maintenance staff member. Obviously, that didn't make this proposal either. But really, we want to be sure we can maintain these buildings long-term with that 365,000. And I think what it's going to mean is that we're going to be continue to be reactionary and do our best. For instance, this year, we were at a capital improvement planning meeting, and we mentioned the fact that our that our generator at the high school was broken and not working, and the finance committee did a transfer to our budget to pay for the fix. And it was, I forgot, $37,000, I think. So, so that was wonderful of them, but things like preventative maintenance to this equipment is critical, and we need to be on top of that if we're going to do things right. And so that's why that proposal was there.
Correct. Okay, thank you. That makes sense. I just want to thank Mr. Kiley and Dr. Seymour McGuire for dropping back and working on this so quickly. And thank you for all of the information you provided today. I can turn back over to Ms. Coughlin, if she.
Sure. Sorry about that.
No worries.
So
Sometimes it's good to be thrown into the deep end.
well, this was a gentle deep end, I would say, because it's limited scope. So obviously I missed a bunch. I really appreciate the town sharpening their pencil and finding more money for us. I think the schools need this, and they need more than the 4.5, but I feel that we as the school committee can't ignore the revenue problems of the town and the restraints they are up against. I would like to try to meet that 4.5% increase. And since I came late to this party, did the full day kindergarten funds come up? Because I do believe that we need to use it at some point, and it seems like this is a good time. And I don't know if it could help with unfunded things within the budget, or the possible key factor cuts. Like, I'm not saying it should just go to one, but if we reduced all a little bit, could go to each, so that we could still be making forward progress. What I want to see is not us going backwards. I want us to see us moving forward, because once you lose ground, it's very hard to make it up. That's where I stand, and I am sorry that I am late. So I'm assuming everybody else has said their piece and asked their questions.
Yeah, I think Mr. Nunes wants to comment on the kindergarten stabilization fund.
Great.
Would Ms. Coughlin like to hear my rant again?
If you could reduce it.
Oh, I'm kidding. No problem. In all seriousness, ma'am, I had a conversation with Mr. Kiley this morning, and it was more to the point, like you just said, about using that STAB fund to fix the music increase, the 15 grand there, the 107 for athletics. I did not mention to Mr. Kiley, and I apologized for that, but to just thinking about it, using an additional 15,000 for the athletic coordination stipend to give Mr. Christofoli some help, and then whatever was left to it would be 140, 160 some odd thousand, give or take, to put back into the maintenance increase. Mr. Kiley talked about preventive maintenance and things of that nature. So that was basically what I said with regards to the STAB fund.
Okay, I'm on board with you.
But I'm also not sure, as I mentioned, because last night at the selectmen's meeting, they were supposed to go over the warrant articles and then close the warrant. So will they reopen it for us type of deal for an article of this nature, or, because that could also open Pandora's box for somebody else. Or if you do it for one, you got to do it for another. That type of deal. I don't know. So that's my concern.
Does anyone know the answer to that question?
They, at the select board's meeting last night, they did vote to close the warrant. I am not sure if that is limited to all new articles or citizens petition articles. I'm not certain. But like I said, I have a meeting with the town administrator tomorrow morning, so I can inquire as to that possibility. I guess what I would say about use of the kindergarten stabilization money on those items would be that I think that music, athletics, and maintenance are structural deficit items that need to be eventually in the budget and for real. So, I mean, I don't, there are some one-time things that we could do within those programs, but I think it's more long-term. So I always hesitate to, use those funds for, use the one-time funds for something that's recurring, but I do agree they have to be used at some point. The other thing is, if we're going to use them on that doesn't, then we're still got a
$250,000 short.
$278,000 amount, which obviously I will talk to the town administrator about tomorrow. So, but that's up to you folks to decide where you will want us to head. But yeah. And kindergarten stabilization is $367,000.
Wow. Okay.
Made some interesting stuff.
Yeah. Okay. So that's. I had
More than we thought.
I had 300 on the brain.
Mm.
So.
My feeling is we spend it, however we spend it, I'll defer to the professionals. But it should be spent in one way or the other.
Yeah. I mean, sorry.
Yes, Mr. News.
I agree with you, Chris. I mean, because look, somewhere down the line, in all seriousness, and leave school choice out of it for a minute, we're going to have to expend, all the quote and unquote surplus money or available funds that we have to be able to use before this town is even going to start looking at overrides.
That's right.
Deal. I mean, if we sit now, and I apologize, I had 300,000 on the brain, and I apologize for that. But to go to town meeting and say we need an override, and oh yeah, by the way, we got 367 in the kitty, we're going to get laughed out of there, type of deal. But I think it has to be done. But so, Mr. Kiley, the Dr. Saber McGuire, are you looking for a motion from us for the 58.2? So you can go to your meeting tomorrow?
Well, I think we're at the point, I mean, obviously, I didn't prepare the budget motion for a vote for this meeting.
Yeah.
Because, I thought
mean,
we were still going to vote on the 13th.
Yeah.
So,
I thought we were too, and Kathleen's not here.
no,
some consensus in terms of where we are, I think would be critical, so I can relay that to the town administration, and they can work with the select board.
I'm good. I'm good with the, much to my chagrin, I'm good with the presentation.
Yeah, I'm good. We can certainly defer till our next meeting.
Agreed.
Agreed.
Okay, I will keep you posted and get ready for the next meeting.
Yeah.
Good luck, and thank you, everybody.
Yes, thank you.
for
Thank
all the
you.
work. That's great.
Yeah, thank you for all the work.
Well, so we are going to adjourn into executive session, for, and I don't have the words up here.
Contract negotiations.
Collective bargaining, to discuss strategy, that would have a detrimental effect on school committee bargaining positions for the DAA, DEA, and AFSCME. And do I have a motion for that?
So move.
And
Second.
and not to return. And so, motion by, I'm sorry, because we were all talking over here, was it Mr. Oliver, and seconded by Ms. Beckwith?
That's fine.
And
I did.
Mr. Nunes?
I didn't make that motion.
Okay, Mr. Nunes made the
Yep.
motion, seconded by Ms. Beckwith, and we need a roll call vote, please.
Ms. Coughlin,
Yes.
Mary Beckwith,
Yes.
Ms. Oliver,
Yes.
John Nunes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you all. The executive session